All right, Shay, let's jump it on down to the Plains where, ooh, man, we almost had a massive upset. We were all making the Georgia State jokes, but Auburn held on 34-24 in a game that was a lot closer than that final score indicates. Georgia State won the rushing battle 267-166, and this Georgia State team was just gashing Auburn on the ground in this game in the first half. I believe the score at halftime was 24-12. I mean, this was Georgia State's game to have. They got a little conservative at the tail end, but it's good news they did because, credit Brian Harsin for making the switch. Bo Nix, this was a really, really rough performance. Hell, you remember going into that Penn State game, I was hyping up Bo Nix since that time. He's been questionable to say the best. And here comes TJ Finley, the former LSU quarterback, to save the day. Needed a 98-yard touchdown drive to win the game. And the most sensational play of all came on 4th and goal. He looks like he was going to get sacked. He made a miraculous play just to keep the play alive, and then hits a wide open receiver in the end zone for a touchdown. So, hey, I know this is not one that you're proud of if you're an Auburn fan, but a win's a win. And, it'd be a completely different story, in my opinion, if this was, say, the Florida Gators, who are in year 4 of Dan Mullen, struggling against Georgia State. This is year 1, new coaching staff, of course. You're trying to, figure out who your quarterback is. It certainly looks like TJ Finley should be that guy. They have yet to make that announcement, but it is troubling that you had this performance, and then right before we hopped on the show, it was announced Brian Harsin's fired his receivers coach, Cornelius Williams. He was formerly of Troy, but and you needed a block punt in the second half to get the program going. But hey, when your offense is struggling, when your defense is struggling, that's why it's a 3-phase game. And, people mock special teams all the time, but that can be the difference between winning and losing. And if not for this block punt, Auburn does not win this football game. Thoughts on this one, Shane? Auburn Tigers barely escaped, but a win's a win.
Yeah, I thought Will Friend got fired, since he lost to Georgia State at Tennessee and almost lost him down there. Oh, man. Mike, this is a game that nobody's going to want to talk about forever.
Right.
I mean, you talk to any Auburn fan, whether it be next year or 20 years from now, they're not going to want to sit down and tell you about the miracle of Georgia State, because that's what it was. And if you haven't seen this 4th down, I mean, it was a miracle. It was if it were against if this was against Penn State, man, they'd be running it on SportsCenter for weeks. They're not going to talk about it because it's Georgia State. But if you get a chance, jump on there on the YouTubes and watch that Finley score, because it is just crazy that it would even come down to that. Now, I know, listen, Tennessee ball fan, I know Georgia State well, all right? I'm the one that put the memes out because I had them saved from the time they kicked our ass. So I get it. But I'm telling you right now, there's no reason that this should even have been a ball game. There's no reason. I don't know if you fired the right person, Mike. When I'm looking at 267 yards rushing against you, maybe we should be looking at that defense. I know there was some offensive miscommunications, and Bo Nix is the one that everybody wants to talk about, but you got gashed, man, by Georgia State. So naturally, there was going to be a letdown. I just didn't expect it to be like this, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's troubling, and now they got to go on the road, like I said, to LSU. That's not a place where you want to correct some issues, but maybe now with TJ Finley in there, that sparks the offense. It certainly did in this game. He's playing against his former team. This is going to be, he said all the right things after leaving, but you got to imagine this is the biggest game of his life, wanting to prove Coach O and them LSU Tigers wrong. So, that'll be a big, big one here Saturday night in Death Valley.
Hey, Brian, can you sort of take us through your mind, first of all, as TJ's making that play on the 4th down? And then also just how hard is it for him to come in there starting at the 2-yard line when he just came in the second half and to be in that spot?
Yeah, good questions. I probably can't repeat what's going through my mind. on that last play there, I was excited. You could see as he broke. I mean, I went right to the QB as we got pressure, and he was able to escape. And it's 4th down and goal. You have to make a play. You got to give your receivers an opportunity to make something happen, and he did. We popped. We scored the touchdown, and then we were able to convert the 2-point conversion, which was huge, and we needed to be really smart in that situation. As far as, I didn't ask him what he thought about being clear backed up. I saw the punt.
Hey, Brian, just making the switch at quarterback from Bo to TJ, can you just kind of talk us through your mindset there, and what was it about the offense in the third quarter where you kind of decided, okay, it's time to make a switch?
Well, you saw the same thing I did. We weren't really doing anything. We had played every running back. We played every wide receiver. You're not going to switch your offensive line out. And I made the decision to change and try to create some type of momentum at the offensive, at the quarterback position for the offense. And so that was my decision. That was my decision. That was something that, I tell our quarterbacks all the time, like, control what you can control. I've coached that position for a long time. I played that position. And, you can only control what you're doing on the field. And, guys around you have to make plays. That's the one thing about the quarterback position. You get way too much credit and way too much blame. And I made the decision to make a change and see if we could just create some momentum. And we did, and it worked in our favor. But Bo has worked very hard. He practices hard. He does all the things we ask him to do. We just didn't have really a lot of things happen for us that was going our way in this game. And sometimes on offense, that's how it goes. And sometimes playing that position, that's how it goes. And sometimes you need somebody to come in there and step up and be able to just have some fresh eyes out there and just go make some plays. And that's what happened in the game. But we're going to come back to work on Sunday with Bo and TJ and the guys on this team on the offensive side. And we're going to get better. And you know what? I expect from both those guys to come out there and work hard and do all the things that we've been doing and listen to Coach Bobo and listen to the things that we did with the offensive group, and make sure that we're getting better at that. But Bo was right there cheering on his teammates, and that's how it goes sometimes. So that was my decision, and both those guys were fighting hard to win this game, and TJ was able to be in there at the very end and get it done.
Coach, can you tell me how Bo handled the switch, when TJ came in, how he was on the sideline, and how do we plan on handling the quarterback position going into SEC play, getting ready?
Hey, I mean, what do you expect? Like, he wants to be out there. That's why I said I made that decision. So, yeah, he's probably pissed, which every competitor would be. You want to be out there on the field, but that's not what he could control in that situation. I controlled that. And so he supported his teammates. That's what he can control. And that's how any player that comes out of the game, like, you don't want to come out of the game, but sometimes, coaches make decisions. And that's the decision that I made in the game. So really, all Bo can do and all anybody else can do is support your teammates, which is exactly what he did. And to me, like, there's more to that than a lot of people think. So, and then.
All right, Shane, jump into.
They're gonna have nightmares about that little running back for Georgia State.
Looked like a little bulldog, didn't he?
Man, he had heart, buddy. He was giving it all he had, dude. They were already they should still celebrate. They should have a parade to get back. That was a hell of a game for him.